Hello, NASCAR fans. Big Trev coming at you again with more NASCAR analysis. It's time for the Auto Club 400 review and analysis from Auto Club Speedway in Fontana, California. Another large track. If you're unfamiliar with Auto Club Speedway, it's formerly California Speedway. California Speedway, where they used to run two races there. Initially, they started with one. Then for a while, they ran two races. Now they're back to just one race there at this track. And in 2007 or 2008, it became Auto Club Speedway and was no longer called California Speedway. So this track is a sister track to Michigan, 2 mile length, and a lot of it usually promotes. A lot of these 2 mile racetracks promote green flag racing, and lots of it. And boy, there was a lot of it. But with this new stage format, we had some breaks and some cautions, and towards the end, strategy really played a role. All right, just a quick digest here. The race summary featured 7 cautions for 29 laps. The race time was 2 hours and 59 minutes for an average speed of 136.4 miles per hour. There were 17 lead changes among 8 drivers. 23 cars finished on the lead lap. Our lap leaders consisted of Kyle Larson. He led a race high of 110 laps. And so with that, now so that was Larson was pretty dominant. So stage 1 was Kyle Larson. At the end of stage 2, Martin Truex. And at the end of the race, it was Kyle Larson. Kyle Larson has finished third 3 times now. Finally, he seals the deal and gets a W. And Larson leads the point standings by 29 points. Chase Elliott second, Martin Truex third, Brad Keselowski fourth, and Joey Logano fifth. So Elliott's 29 points back, Truex is 38, Keselowski's 64 points back, and Logano is 69 points back. So there is a tight race. That's just the top 5. And the top 5 finishers were Larson, Keselowski, Bowyer, Truex, and Joey Logano. So Keselowski actually spun on the second lap. He had contact on the initial start of the race, and he spun on lap 6. So he spun. He almost did one of those spin to wins, but he had damage. Harvick had damage. Jimmy Johnson had damage. Many of the guys you'd normally think would do good at these 2-mile tracks were not so hot. So with that, we had, like I said, we had a lot of green early and mid, and then finally in that last stage we had a caution. Corey LaJoie had hit the wall, and then on that next restart, I believe it was Matt Kenseth that had contact with Martin Truex. Martin Truex, of course, didn't do it on purpose. It was one of those racing deals. And then from there, some guys decided to pit and some guys decided to stay out. Well, Martin Truex Jr. and I believe it was Jamie McMurray, they did not pit. Kyle Larson did pit. He restarted on the top side. There's another car that didn't pit. It was McMurray. It's another guy, but they decided the top 3 didn't pit, and Larson had a run on the outside, and McMurray and Truex tried blocking him in. And before long, Larson had the lead on those fresh tires. And I'll tell you what, with so few laps to go, with like 6 laps to go, they pitted. And then there was a green-white checkered at the end. But the 6 laps to go thing is probably when Martin Truex should have pitted as well. But because he just wanted to stay out, and you roll the dice and then you see how many guys actually pit. Well, you're a sitting duck at the front of the field, because if you pit, everybody stays out. If you stay out, everybody pits. you're you're sitting duck. You have no absolute no way of knowing what they're going to do behind you. So, and if Truex would have pitted and everybody would have stayed out, he would have restarted like 20th or about 20th to 23rd, because there was 23 cars that finished on the lead lap, and in 4 laps you're not going to come from 20th to first. There's no way. So it was a gutsy call, and it unfortunately didn't win Martin Truex a race, but he finished fourth. And how about Brad Keselowski though? He decided to come in and get those tires. He had nothing to lose, and he restarted eighth, I believe, and rebounded all the way to second. So yeah, with the green white checkered restart, you can definitely get some positions, especially on a surface that's 20 years old. That Auto Club Speedway has not been paved in 20 years. So it's like taking sandpaper to your tires. You want some fresh feel goods as soon as you can, as good old Larry McReynolds would say. And so strategy was big at the end, but mid race and beginning of the race it had another one of those green flag looks to it, that if it hadn't been for the end of the stage, we would have not had a yellow. And at one point, Martin Truex had over an 8-second lead, so he definitely was dominant early in mid, but he had a pit road mishap where he pulled too close to the wall on the second to last stop, and it just set him back. So, those guys have beat themselves so many times. But overall, I thought the race was good. The ending was very exciting, especially to go green, white, checkered or overtime. And then we had, we had some good battles going. And how about Clint Bowyer finishing third? That was really good. It's definitely Clint Bowyer. He needed a good run to prove himself to Stewart Haas and to his new team and new sponsor. So that was good for Bowyer. Logano rallied back. Brad Keselowski though too, he had a big comeback. So Larson also won the Xfinity race on Saturday, so he did what they call the weekend sweep, and it was definitely well earned. And I'll tell you what, Larson better be someone to watch come Michigan, because that's another track that he's good at. These big race tracks he's good at. So otherwise, that's pretty much all I've got. We had some trouble, really. I will say, Matt Kenseth, good thing he's okay. He hit hard. He hit big time. But that's pretty much all I got for you. We'll see you next time, and we're going to leave you with some footage of the race. And from here on out, for the remainder of the Fox half of the season, at the end of these videos, I will be showing you the Crank It Up. So this was the Crank It Up from Fox's coverage of the Auto Club 400. We'll see you next week.